Hello, we are here today to go on a tour of Ripley's Aquarium of Canada. All right, so the first thing I'm going to show you is the kiosks where you can buy tickets if you forget to buy them online. Now, when you go in, you'll see the play space, which you won't get to for a while, but it's down below. Hanging from the ceiling are some very cool skeletons and the Sea of Time wall, which shows you a little bit more about the past. The first place we're going to go into now is the Canadian waters. Now check this out. There were divers in the very first aquarium we got to, which was super cool to see and happens quite a bit in the different spots. Now let's check out the North American lobster claws. So you see you get to actually have a cool exhibit where you can touch them, and right across from him you can see the lobster himself. There he is hanging out inside. Okay, these guys are super cool because they almost camouflage, but then they move and they're awesome. All right, so again, another cool thing that's a nice touch and learn all about the sea star. And then check out this monstrosity of a guy. He is super cool. Let's get a better look. See? Wow, this was a highlight and a really, really busy tank. All right, so now we're going to travel a little bit further along and into Pacific Kelp. This tank here is absolutely massive. It is 2 stories tall. Look, you can see it go all the way down, and it's got the coolest current. Like, the fish are just chilling and floating up and down. It's actually really relaxing to watch and super, super cool. I'm going to show you all the way to the bottom. These little colorful sea anemones are just beside it. Very mesmerizing. All right, so now we're going to take a look at these cool guys. Again, some of these exhibits are just nice to look at because they're just super relaxing. Now here's an awesome touch point. You get to kind of move in the speed to see how things change in the environment. Super cool. All right, so we're off to our next stop, which is Rainbow Reef. So this is a very colorful spot, as I'm sure you could imagine. So here are all of the rainbow fish. This is really fun to look at. Lots of color. They just kind of swim around, nice and simple. As you can see, there's information and it changes. The screens change constantly. So if you're not sure if you've seen the name of the fish you want to look at, keep looking. So next, we're stepping into the dangerous lagoon. So this one takes you through on a moving sidewalk, and you can see that there's information plaques throughout and the fish swimming by. Shark! Okay, there are sharks all over this, and it's so awesome. So as you can see, they're just swimming around and chilling, and there was actually people cleaning the tank, and this person's job here was to keep the sharks away from them. Look at this guy. Like, I don't know what he's doing, but it was mesmerizing to watch him. It actually gets dark. You go deeper into the lagoon and the sharks are swimming right overhead. It is really, really cool to see. The great thing is everybody has a front row seat because you're moving along. These guys were awesome. It was so cool to see their faces underneath as they were on top of the tank. We're going to show you this in a second. You actually can go in there and be right inside the submarine. It's super cool. And this guy fell asleep, and watching him sleep was probably one of the highlights. Okay, so remember we just showed you the submarine. This is the SS Discovery. So we're going to pop inside here. And you can see we're now in with the sharks in that little submarine. So that's a fun thing to do afterwards. Then there's some cool activities. Again, all these learning touch points about water pressure and how submarines work. Super cool. And the play place. This is more for little kids. It's not huge, but it's a lot of fun. All right, so right beside that is this cool place. You can stick your head up in there and be inside those fish, and a place to sit and eat. Now, you can buy food there, and it's all from these machines. It's all automated, which is actually pretty neat. We didn't try it, but cool to know it's there. Okay, so next we're heading into the gallery. And this was really neat too. Another cool touch point, all about the living reef and learning about how it works. And if you take a look in here, You can see how colorful it can be. Again, this was really neat to see. And some puffer fish, not puffed, but super cute. All right, the electric eel. He was big and he was moving around. He was definitely a fan favorite. We had to wait to see this guy. Now into the shipwrecks. I don't actually remember this being here. I'm sure it was, but it was really, really cool. There's all these different places you can look through and learn about the history of shipwrecks and some of the myths around them. Actually, that was probably one of our favorite things I'm going to show you over here was sea monsters, fact or fiction. This was really, really neat to read about some of the famous sea monsters and whether or not they're supposedly real. Now we're heading into Ray Bay, where all of the rays hang out. This was another huge tank, absolutely full. And it's actually really neat because I'll show you in a second, there's times and there's dive shows where they actually get in there with the rays. Now to Planet Jellies, where the jellyfish are. So these are neat because they light them up different colors so they look like they're glowing, and it's a really cool way to see them. And you can learn all about the life cycle, all kinds of information here. It's super educational, and the glowing jellyfish are really mesmerizing. These ones were really cool. I'd never seen jellyfish like this, so I just wanted to show them. All right, so now to Conservation Cove. This is actually really neat. It shows you how the aquarium works. So after you've seen all of the different exhibits, you get to take a peek at the tanks and how they heat them and the different way the water is filtered, and you can actually try out some stuff in this cool touch point here. It's a really great interactive spot. And bubbles because, you know, those are cool. All right, so before we actually leave, there is a touch tank which is currently closed, but you can go over to this one, into Baby Ray and Shark Corral, and you can touch them. Only the rays, not the sharks. And of course, no visit anywhere is complete without a gift shop. It's really bright in here, very colorful, so good luck getting through this with your kids. But that was our tour of Ripley's Aquarium of Canada.